Alright, you guys, so it's time to review The Death of Superman, DC's final animated movie of 2018. And, as you guys, the movie has been leaked way ahead of time of its Comic-Con premiere date, July the 24th. But I still have to say, this movie is much better than Superman Doomsday, which is DC's first try at telling the story of Superman's last battle against Doomsday, and just the presentation of it all is way better than DC's first crack at Superman Doomsday, which is also the first DC animated movie ever to be released back in 2007. Now, to be honest with you guys, unlike most reviews of these DC animated movies that I do, I am going to say that I do have a few problems with this movie. And really the biggest one is that and this problem is actually kind of a double-edged sword, because I believe it does add some strength to the movie as well. So basically, the first 20 minutes or half an hour really of the movie is just Superman having to fight your average everyday criminal, and basically Clark has everybody saying, "Thanks, Superman, we don't know what we do without you." And basically the whole first half of this movie, guys, is establishing just how instrumental and special Superman is to Metropolis and the world. As far as Clark and Lois Lane's relationship in this movie, basically Lois is getting tired of or basically another key part of this movie is basically Superman struggling to tell Lois that her friend and fellow Daily Planet reporter Clark and her knight in shining armor, Superman, is the same person. In fact, that's really a key part of this movie. It's the first half, although it's very oversaturated with it pretty much explains how Superman is very important to the world, and it showcases very well the internal struggle that Superman has always had, and that's to whether truly let the world know, or let Miss Lane know especially, that he is Clark Kent as well. And this basically leads into a bit of a dilemma with Diana, because because Wonder Woman and the rest of the Justice League all basically tell Superman that maybe it is time that that Clark did tell the love of his life is keep his darkest secret. And Flash is like the biggest advocate for this, especially considering since in the movie he's getting married to his one true love, Iris. And basically right before everything kicks in with Doomsday, Clark does eventually reveal to Lois, and he flat out says it, "I'm Superman," and Lois's reaction is literally like, "Oh my god." Now, getting back to sort of the opening credits here, we also get to see the spaceship that carried Superman from Krypton to Earth, sort of held within Stark Labs, and the boxes that the criminals were using are left over from Justice League Wars battle with Darkseid. And basically, guys, when Doomsday is introduced, he basically comes down in the crater and basically starts to go on a rampage. And his first set of victims is unfortunately some of Aquaman's Atlantean warriors. So Aquaman, along with Cyborg, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and Batman, are basically the first to encounter Doomsday, but everybody pretty much gets annihilated, and then it's up to Superman to basically try and get in there to basically save the day yet again. And again, guys, while the first half of the movie does seem kind of like filler-ish, when the movie knows it has to get serious, it does it, because the fight between Superman and Doomsday is probably, hands down, the best DC animated movie fight ever, because it's truly a clash between two titans. Basically, it's the kind of action that Batman vs. Superman should have had, because this fight literally takes up half an hour, and Clark does give his best effort, but Doomsday unfortunately and obviously ultimately exhausts the Man of Steel. But like I said, Clark does manage to defeat Doomsday, but not before unfortunately succumbing to his injuries and telling Lois one last time, well, first asking her, "Is the thing dead?" And she says yes, and Superman's like, "Good, that's all I ever wanted besides you." And then Clark basically says goodbye. And one other thing I wanted to mention is this has so many classic Justice League throwback moments, but probably my most favorite is when Lex Luthor tries to take out Doomsday himself, and ultimately is defeated and has to watch his biggest enemy, but also awkwardly one of his closest friends, that basically get annihilated by this truly mindless killing machine in Doomsday. And then, guys, as far as the last scene with Superman's actual funeral, that was handled 10 times better in Death of Superman than in Superman Doomsday. So yeah, the movie was pretty good, guys, and definitely stay tuned for the Reign of Superman coming in 2019.